Hello boys and girls, gents and women, this is Brown Boy Chronicles, a collective of 4 brown boys bringing you the latest updates about life, hot takes on music and fashion, mixed with some clown behavior, and overall just good vibes. Hope y'all enjoy and appreciate y'all tuning in. Enjoy, fam.
Welcome to another episode of Brown Boy Chronicles. This is episode 3, and this is your co-host Lucky.
This is KB.
And this is Harvey. Today we got a special guest. I'd like to introduce and welcome everybody to Saminder Singh, also known as TurbanMagic, aka known the sick boy from Miami.
Yes, sir. Yes,
From
sir.
Miami with the Dougie.
Yo, that Dougie was clean. When I watched that first TikTok video, dude, that Dougie was clean.
Bless, man. I've been practicing for some time now.
You've been practicing the Dougie?
Yeah. Now I started. So when the Dougie came out, I was in 6th grade, and that was like the trending dance at the time. And my best friend, he's a Kala. So like, we used to, and like everybody in my school. Well, it was kind of mixed, but like all the Kala in my school, we used to like. I used to be part of them, really.
Yeah.
And, but they were really, really like it was like a cool group where like it was really inclusive, and we used to have like dance battles all the time. So like,
Where'd you grow up?
Leesburg, Virginia. So it's Northern Virginia. I live in a county called Loudoun County. It's like the richest county in the nation, but that doesn't mean that everyone's rich. It's just me. Everyone's
Subtle
well.
flex over here.
Nah, it's just like I'm saying that and to show like it's just a really great area in terms of like education. Everyone's really educated. Like I'll be honest with you, K through 12. I was born and raised here. K through 12. I was never bullied once, and I never even saw bullying happen in my school, like K through 12. So like it was a huge thing, So it was a big blessing.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yo, just going back to like that moment, like when you were down in Miami, like how did that all come about? Like, was it just a natural, like, or like were your friends like egging you on, or like how'd this like whole like interaction kind of go about?
Yeah, so for everybody who knows me, I'm an extrovert. So but if you could see like in that video, so what had happened was I was at the Versace mansion, and I was on, I forgot what that's called. That main like road.
Ocean Drive?
Ocean Drive? Yeah, that's it. That's what it is, yeah. So I was Versace mansion, and then one of my friends was like somewhere at the beach, like they were with their own group. But anyways, like I saw their location, and then I was like, yo, like let's meet up right quick. Because we didn't plan this trip together. Like me and the friend, we didn't come together. But somehow it just it worked out. So I got their location, and then I was like, yo, what's good? How you doing? And then I saw these people dancing, and I was with my boys at the time, and they're like, yo, Saminder, like go do your thing, right? This is like your thing. I was like, I don't know. So if you see in the beginning of the video, it's like I'm like hesitating a little bit, like I was a little nervous at first, but then I just went and did my thing.
Has it ever happened where like I feel like anytime it comes to dancing, everyone always is super inviting. Is that like always the case, right? Like I feel like if you just got the sauce, like they're gonna let it be.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. People are really inclusive when it comes to dancing. So yeah, it just becomes like a little like community, a little family at that time. It's pretty cool.
That's sick. Did it like that video like just start blowing up like right away, or like did one of your homies post it and then like it was some time and then all of a sudden your phone just starts like blowing up?
So I posted it. I remember because I was coming back. I was at the airport in Miami when I posted it. It was on a Wednesday, and then Thursday, which was the next day, Sick Expo reposted it at nighttime or something like that. And then I had to go to Cincinnati or Cleveland for a point guard competition, not today, Cleveland and DC, and I had to play Dole there for like 3 teams. So and then it blew up, and then everybody started reposting, and it just went everywhere. Then when I was at Not Today Cleveland on Friday night at Mixer, memes are they DM'd me, which is like a big count. And then they're like, yo, can we repost your content? And I was like, sure, why not? Right, bless. And then that's what happened. And then it just blew up everywhere. Then Puberty and the House of Highlights, Shaq reposted me. It was pretty
Damn.
cool.
Sick.
Big blessing, yeah.
God damn.
Wait, you were the first one to post it? I thought it was because I think the video I saw was like one of the black dudes there dancing was already filming you. I thought was it you posting it?
Yeah, that was me posting. So what happened was one of the boys that I was with, his name is Idris. He's Afghani. He was the one. If you hear him, like he's like, I'll come with you. Like I'll go after you. I'll come with you. So he was behind me.
Your man
okay,
had this
word.
pulled
Yeah.
up, like ready to go. Like he's like came in Exhibit A, Exhibit B, Exhibit Z.
Yeah, and then it was cool, man. He was like our photographer for that entire Miami trip, so it was cool.
Wait, so you didn't really? Was it just gonna be like an Insta reel for you? Like, were you
Yeah, it was
just
just
like
a
going?
regular post. It was just like I literally just like posted a regular post, and then out of nowhere, just the next day, and then the next day,
Oh, that's dope.
and then next month I went to the army, and then people recognized me from the video, and my first sergeant, which is like it's a high rank in the army, um, so my company's first sergeant, he basically made me stand up in front of everybody. It was like 180 of us, and he's like, so he's a little outdated, and he retired while I was at basic training, but like during midway, but he was like points at me, he's like, "Isn't this the coolest guy you ever met?" And then later on, because he's so outdated, he's like, "Did y'all know that he's a YouTube sensation?" I was like, I guess YouTube works.
I thought he was gonna make you dance, like you know how your parents like show you off when
Oh,
like.
true, true, true. Natula.
I like that would have been so awkward dancing in front of like your army people.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Wait, what is the timeline of this? Like, I'm sorry, yo. I like they just told me about like all this. I did not know like you were a viral sensation. What is like the timeline of this? Like, when did this happen, and when did you like go to army, or were you already in the army when this happened?
No. So this happened in March. So I used to work at Amazon.
March 2022.
Yeah, March of 2022,
Okay.
last year. Yeah, then I went to the army. I enlisted into the army in April, and then I went to basic training in May. So it was 2 months prior to going to basic training.
Yeah, that's a wild curve. How do you go from Amazon to viral sensation to army? Like, what was your like? How does that work?
I have no clue, man. Amazon, I was there for 6 months, and it's just like I'm more than this, right? Like I was a data technician, so like where I was working, there was no windows. Like it was just like for 6 months, you're just working in a really dim light, like place with a dim light, and like you're working with technology. So much what do you call it? Not radiate, like
Like
there's
the
so much
buzzing white
electricity.
noise, the white noise?
Yeah, that white noise. Yeah. So there's a lot of that, and it's just like it drains you, man. It drains you. You're working 4 days a week, but those days start from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. And by the end of the day, you're just like you're dead. And then I was going to these I was still doing like gigs on the side, like playing dole and whatnot. And you know, I remember one gig that I had, and there were a lot of people that I knew there. And they're like, "Yo, what happened? You all right? Like, is everything okay?" Like everybody was asking me that. I was like, well, "I don't know, bro. I'm okay. I feel okay." But I guess that's how much it like drained me. And I was like, you know what? Screw this. Like and I already had so I slept on going into the army for like 8 months. I actually decided while I joined Amazon, and then I like went on Reddit every single day, asked like a billion questions. I slept on it, and then it took me 8 months to enlist. But yeah,
What made you like do that initial jump, like even get the thought of like going and enlisting like in your head?
so I went on Reddit one day, and I was like, "Yo," this was before I got the job at Amazon, and I was still in school at the time. I was finishing undergrad. Um, I went on Reddit. I was like, "How do I like learn survival skills, right, in Virginia?" Because I grew up watching like Man vs. Wild with my older brother, and I always loved those things. And then my best friend, the Carl that I was talking about, he went to the army so when we were in high school. So he started getting homeschooled. I never saw him because he was training after homeschooling. So then I was like, how to learn survival skills. And then I went on Reddit, and there was 2 classes on like, and then the third thing was the army. So I was like, how much information am I going to retain after like one of those classes? Because it's only like for a weekend, those classes. And then I was like, all right. Then I was like, all right, army. Then I started asking questions slowly, inching my way into enlisting.
Wait, how does a kid from a wealthy neighborhood want to learn about survival skills?
I do. So like I grew up watching Man vs. Wild, Walking Dead. There's a show called The Colony. So like, yo, you never know, anything can happen at any moment, man. Like you need to be ready to survive in any.
So you were just genuinely interested in it.
Yeah, I love this stuff. I love survival. Like camping and.
Are you big on like conspiracy theories and shit? Like you think
Nah, not really. I don't like watch too many conspiracy theories things, but I make my own, I guess. I make my own theories.
Wait, where are you even getting at, Rinku?
Huh?
Where were you even getting at with that? What
Oh, like
conspiracy?
survival skills, like, you know what I mean? Like is the world gonna like come down like or some shit?
Those are the extremes, bro. I was not thinking that at all. I was gonna ask if he knows how to swim.
I actually don't know how to swim. That's the one thing I want to learn this year.
Yeah, I don't know how to swim either.
Can you start a fire from scratch?
Yeah, I have before. I've done it when I was little. I did it with rocks, like just playing around and getting it.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty easy. You gotta get tinder, which is like the kind of like it's like really dry fire starter, and then you put your little twigs on top of it.
We got a Cub Scout in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, do you want to put your kids through Cub Scout or Boy Scouts,
Yeah,
bro?
dude. Yo, I can actually join too. I can join Boy Scouts, but I don't know how. Like, I didn't know that. If I knew that, I wouldn't have joined the army. Because I don't know. I really wouldn't have because I don't know what the age limit was, but I think I'm young enough. I'm 23, by the way. So,
Oh
Bro, with your
shit.
darty, I don't think you can fit in Boy Scouts, bro.
nah, I think there's an age limit to like 25, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making that up, but
Really?
yeah,
That
yeah.
seems a little too high up.
Not because
It goes
maybe
pretty
it's
old.
men's scouts or something like that. I don't know. It's something for like men for like adults. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you in like the reserves in the army, or like what's your like role category and all that?
in the army there are three categories, like what it breaks down into. So there's army active duty, which is like your full-time 9 to 5, right? 365. Then you have your two like reserve components. You have your army reserve and you have army national guard. So I'm army national guard. So national guard, every state has the army national guard. Every state also has army reserve, but there's more benefits in the army national guard because they'll put you to your nearest armory rather than the reserves. Like say I have a job, like I'm a some sort of mechanic, right? But my nearest armory doesn't need it, but an armory like in freaking North Carolina needs it. I'm gonna have to go from Virginia down to North Carolina. Like that's the thing with the reserves. But
Mm.
with the Army National Guard, there we have different armories compared to or from the army reserves.
Wait, you're a mechanic within your.
No, I'm not. I was just saying if I was. So I'm actually going to become an IT specialist. I have to go back to training. I was actually in officer training, and never wanted to be an officer. I really just wanted to be like a regular Joe. Like, I love the concept of struggling together and like motivating each other and like whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I never wanted to be an officer. So there's two routes. There's an enlisted route and then the commission route, the officer route. The commission route is like they're kind of like the bosses, and they have to do all the paperwork. And then the enlisted side, we do all the like the hands-on work, the dirty work. So I want to do the dirty work because I love that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But my recruiter, he talked me into because I have a degree, so I'm able to become an officer. And also I scored high on my ASVAB, which is like your military test to go into the military. So he's like, might as well just take the officer route. And I was like, all right, I don't know.
I was just gonna ask, like, the more you explain out, maybe you'll get to it, but like, does that mean you don't want to like ever be like in the front lines? I don't know what's like the equivalent of like the National Guard. Like when I think of army, I just like think of like if you're gonna be deployed or if like January 6th happens again and like you need to be like called into active, or like
Yeah,
quote unquote active. Like, is that something you're avoiding or is that something you want to do?
no, that's exactly what I want to do. So the thing with Army National Guard is we have two like orders. We have an order from the federal government, and then we have an order from our state government. So we have two missions rather than Army Reserve or Army Active Duty. They just have federal missions. So if something happens overseas, they're gonna go deal with it. Army National Guard, if something happens here at home, then like what happened at the Capitol or these BLM protests, we're the first people to get called and basically protect people or and then when I was at Amazon, there was a huge snowstorm that hit Virginia in like 95, which is one of our major highways. It got shut down for like 2 or 3 days, like meaning like people were stuck on that highway for 2 to 3 days. The National Guard came and they were the people who gave food and water and things like that. So I'm more of like, y'all know like CASA aid, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, like I love doing that type of stuff, like doing type of stuff. So like being in the Army, a National Guard, like I could go to like Mississippi if there's, God forbid there's ever a flood or a hurricane or whatever. I'm able to go to that.
Okay, so it's like any type of crisis, whether it's natural or like just
Yeah, humanitarian aid and also combat deployments. So I can do either or. So it's two missions rather than Army Reserve and Army active duty. They can do it, I think, but I just don't think they're meant for that. So yeah, Army National Guard has two missions. That's why I joined Army National Guard. And on top of that, like that's like my side gig. And then I also have like I'm playing Dole, I'm doing Pongara, and just doing content, making content.
Is it like a full-time job or is it like part-time? Like how does it work? Is it salaried or
Yeah,
like
so it's
being in the army?
yes, it's all, but it's part time except your training. Your trainings are all full time. But like your job itself is part-time. So when I was in OCS, which is a officer candidate school, I left that, by the way. I left it just this past month. It's probably like it's basic training on steroids. So physically, like I'm fine. Physically I was like finishing top. Like I have no issues. Out of
What
100,
kind of stuff they have you doing? Like, what are like
For
the
physical?
limits? Like, you got like mile time. Like, what is it? Push-ups,
okay, so
pull-ups. Like, what do
I'll
you
give you
got
a break.
hit?
So I'll give you a breakdown of like what we got to do at OCS. So we get there at Friday 6:30 p.m. So 18:30, right, military time. So we get there at 6:30 p.m. Well, we have to get there like an hour before. Set up everything, and everything has to be so the soldier on my right and the soldier on my left, we have to look the exact same. Like we have like over 90 pounds worth of gear on us. And like it's not compact. So like compact weight like it may be the same, but it feels less compared to like when you have boots, you have your uniforms, you have your helmet, you have your field light load carrier, you have all these things and like these big bags. You have to carry it on your back, front load it, carrying one hand, carrying the other hand. So, anyways, before we have to pick all that up and run to the hill. Like we meet up at 6:30 and we're all formed up, looking the exact same. So our gear has to look the exact same. Like it has to be lined the exact same. It has to be in a line. It's all about uniformity, right?
Yeah.
Then 6:30, the cadre come. The cadre are like they're the trainers basically. And then that's like, all right, once you see them coming down that hill, it's like, oh shoot, like I'm about to be in hell for the next 48 hours.
48
So,
hours?
48
Goddamn.
hours. Yeah. So this happens once every month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so they make us pick up everything, and we have to run up a hill, and like people are like dragging their feet because it's so heavy. Like your front row, you have a whole duffel bag. Like duffel bag is huge. It's like you can't even see in the frame. It's huge, right? You front load that, then you have a rucksack. Rucksack is also just as big on your back. That's like 50 pounds. This is like easily like 30 pounds. Then you have your bags or however many bags you got. And then you also have like water in it too, and a lot of water, right? So like that adds a lot of weight too. You have to run up a hill around the corner all the way, and then you have to form up again, right? So it's all about mind games. They're just playing mind games the entire time. They're in your face, screaming, and you can't like blink an eye. Like you just have to like just like their spit
Yeah.
and everything is like coming on you, but you just have to just stay really focused and whatnot. Then by like then at that time it's check-in. So check-in is really intense, right? They make you sprint to inside the classroom, get a dummy rifle. So we have a rifle on us at all times, but it's a rubber like a dummy rifle, but it's like a little bit heavier than an actual rifle, just for training purposes because you always have your weapon on you when you're in the army, right? So go check in. You get your two dummy grenades and a dummy rifle, and then you get 3 MREs. So MREs are military rations. I don't know if you've ever seen an MRE.
Yeah. The packets where you warm up and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like brown bag. It's brown bag and it has like 1 meal in there. We just have 3 for.
What if you have like dietary restrictions? How does
They
that
have some like what kind? Like what
Like-
Lactose intolerant.
Yeah, well, there's nothing that has really milk. There's nothing with milk in it really. It's really just meat and
like, what if you're vegetarian?
they have vegetarian MREs.
Okay.
They got dal?
They don't. It's they have like 24 menu items. And they're all nasty
Yeah, that's a lot of options, bro.
yeah, but they're all nasty, bro. You don't trust me. You don't want to eat an MRE. Like you want to stay as far away as you can from an MRE. So in basic training, we ate 2 MREs a day for 70 days.
Wait, I have a question.
Damn.
So you went through this like intense training like for 48 hours. Like after you come out of it, do you get this like sense of calmness, like how you move about the world, like how you move around through the day to day, like as a civilian, you'd be more calm because like you're prepared for like adversity, but like in real life, there's not really that much adversity. I feel like when you go about it, it's like I don't know. I wonder
If you think about it that way, then yes. Like army life compared to civilian life is like it's like a night and day difference. It's so much more stressful. And but like civilian side obviously has its own stresses, which are equivalently as hard, but it's in its own way. But like army stress is just different kind of stress. And like so once you're out of that training, you're not really out of that training mentally. So then like you're planning ahead for the next month. like every single day. You're having a meeting every single day. So even though it's part-time, right? It's not part-time for this training at least, right? But like so then that's why I didn't want to become an officer, because like I have so much that I do already. I'm not like, army isn't like my life. You know what I'm saying? But people
Yeah.
like they live, breathe, eat, sleep the army, right?
Yeah.
That's all they know. And like you need people like that in the army to, to have the strong army that we do, right?
Mhm.
So are we talking to Saminder the civilian or Saminder the Fauji?
You're talking to the civilian right now with
Right.
with the side of Fauji. It's like a little hint of Fauji in it.
Yeah, what happens when
Um,
someone fucks up?
what happened?
What happens when someone fucks up during the training, like going up a hill or whatever, they fall down? Like, do they have to finish? Like, was there ever
Yeah,
a
we have
case?
to pick them up. We have to pick them up
Oh
and make them
shit.
finish. Yeah, and because if one person struggles, we all struggle, right? So if one person messes up, we all get smoked for it.
What if you're the lazy fuck that was just in the back? You're like, you carry me out.
So
Has there
I
ever been like
luckily
Yeah,
didn't
how does
have.
that
Everybody
even
in
work?
shape, or is there some like bigger bodies, or is everybody in shape?
So basic training is meant to make you like get in shape. But there were people who were, like not fit before going to basic training. But me, I was running. I just ran 2 miles. Where's my phone at? Oh, I ran 2 miles
Pull up
last
that
Friday
TikTok, bro.
after a month. What do you say?
I said pull up that TikTok again, bro.
No, what do you call it? I ran 2 miles last Friday after a month, and it was like an all right pace. It was
It's probably
13.
like 4 minutes or something. All right,
Nah,
peace.
it's 14:49. So like it's six. Oh shoot, just kidding.
That's pretty good.
13:47. 13:47. That's what it was. The other one was my ruck. So I did 6.5 miles, and that was a 14-minute pace. So rucking is you have 50 pounds on your back, and you're basically walking miles, and like your feet are fricked. Like my feet, if I'll show you right now, y'all would throw up. My feet are fricked up.
We have a podiatrist. He likes that shit.
Yeah.
He's got a kink
Who is it,
for it.
Harvey?
Yeah, he.
Yeah, my field is foot and ankle.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, you want me to send you a picture? You can fix it. But yeah, dude. So I mean, I ran after like a month, and it was a 13-minute pace, so it's not bad. So you have to run a lot sometimes, just 2 miles. Like it's not too much, but during training, they'll at basic training, they'll definitely put you in shape if you're not in shape. But I was already in shape before going, so I got less in shape. But a lot of people struggled in the beginning, and then they got there's this one guy I follow out of basic training, because it becomes a family after that, right? So like
Yeah.
there's one guy from basic training, he posts like him lifting, like doing deadlifts all the time now. But he was one of the chubbier kids, like one of the less fit kids in at basic training when we started. But by the end of the 70 days, he became a beast. Now he's like, he's killing it. He's going to the gym. I don't go to the gym. I only do calisthenics for years now. I've been to the gym since 11th grade.
Yeah, how does your parents like when you like switch from Amazon to like Army, how are your parents like receptive of that transition? Like do they like still like get on edge about their son like kind of being more, I don't know, kind of not putting your
You're
life
still
in danger,
doing like IT within the army, so it's like you're still right. Like you're
but
still.
he wants to do more like, where he has to like, like where like, a disaster calls, like he's gonna heed that call type of shit. So like
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be like disarming the bombs, like if like it was like national.
no
bro, that's
idea.
still like dangerous, like
That's combat stuff.
yeah. Like you're not really combat, but like you're putting yourself in a position where have a higher chance of like, like not combat, but like I
Threat.
guess yeah, threat, like compared to like a regular person in IT in a basement.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even like not the headquarters, but the quarters, like where all the IT people are, that stuff gets blown up all the time too. Because like enemies target that, right?
Oh,
Because
shit.
that's where all our intel is. So
Yeah. Yo, honestly, so that's actually a like great segue, because like, all right, like we don't really have like wars anymore, right? Like, yes, we have wars,
Yeah.
like, but we don't have like we haven't had
might
like a
be
level
something
of like
coming soon.
crazy like World War II, World War III, like where like mass casualties, like
Knock on
millions and
wood.
millions of death, right? I mean, the talk is the next war will be like likely a cyber war. What's your opinion on that? Like, because I feel like that can do like way more damage than anything else, yo. Like, imagine somebody just hacking into like hospital like mainframe, and like just like, you'd be like just
Yeah,
fuck
bro,
up so
just
much shit.
unplug.
Yeah.
Just unplug the computer.
Nah, because they can just turn it back on.
Yeah, no, China has like these crazy tech. I mean, so does the US now, but China definitely has a bigger threat in terms of like throwing I think it's called a EOD.
Like an EMP, like a Call of Duty EMP type
Yeah.
shit?
Oh,
Or-
EMP. That's what it is.
Oh
EMP.
yeah.
EOD is a school. EMP. So like, you know, once that EMP like hits, like we won't be able to talk on Zoom. We won't have lights. We won't have none of this will work.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you're screwed. Like no technology, even a fan won't work. Like all electricity is you know what I'm saying? So like that's when like people don't know how to survive but without electricity, right? So that's my thought. I mean, these cyber warfare is like
Are you guys like constantly combating it? Like, is that like a topic? Is that like a hot topic of discussion, like within the army?
are we
Like,
constantly, what was it?
like you guys are like thinking of that, like thinking of like a being attacked via like.
I mean, that's what we train for, right? So
Okay,
we
yeah.
all prepare for the worst, but pray for the best, right? So that's what basic training is. It's called basic combat training, BCT. So you go there and you like we're literally with like rifles 24/7. We're shooting for 3 weeks. And then the last 2 or 3 weeks we're doing battle drills. So like basically when you're come face to face with an enemy, we drill how to, you know, go around the enemy and destroy them from that side or this side, or like different battle drills when you're just with your when you and your battle buddy. So in the army you call your like brothers and sisters battle buddies. Like if it's, you know, everybody's a battle buddy. So if it's just you and your battle buddy, just two of y'all going, you know, doing a surveillance or whatever, right? Just going around doing your rounds, and then you come to contact with an enemy, how to respond to that, right? Like things like that, like because you know, oh, patrol, sorry, not surveillance, patrol, because like when you go overseas, like you'll be definitely getting your fair share of patrols, getting your fair share of all these experiences. It's crazy. It's a crazy life when you get deployed.
Did you ever shoot a gun before the army?
Yeah, I'm a concealed carry license holder.
Oh, nice. You
Yeah.
carry like all the time?
I do kind of. I live in a safe area, but I do it. I always have it in my car.
Oh,
True,
true.
true.
Yeah.
Wait, we never like. I wanted to get back to like your parents.
Oh,
like,
sorry. Yeah. What was the question again,
No,
Mama?
essentially, like, how do your parents like feel about your like transition from like Amazon to like, you know, reputable company? Like, what like
Yeah.
our parents come here for America for like, you know, like the safe lifestyle to like you kind of doing the polar opposite where they like, what the fuck we come here for then? Not like that, not like that,
Yeah,
but
I
like,
got you. I got you. Nah, man, I've been super blessed, man. If it wasn't for my parents, man, my brother, like I wouldn't be the way I am. For real. Like I'm like no cliche anything. Like um my parents have like never questioned my path, like once, right? They've always supported me. So like when I worked at Amazon, I was working this like even if I have it like even after getting a degree and I was working this like hands-on job, right, at Amazon, where I could be working at a desk and like, you know, a nice environment, but I was working and like it gets super hot in those data centers, and it also gets super cold in winter. So like I was working there, and you know, they just know it's part of the struggle and it's part of my journey, right? So it's whatever makes me happy. That's what they care about, and none of that cliche stuff. It's like for real stuff, right? So
Yeah.
you know,
That's dope.
I'm very blessed, and
that's actually a very modern approach. Like, are they like educated or like,
yeah, for sure, man. My mom did her master's in music and Punjab, and my dad he did his bachelor's in sport and physical education. And then, but my dad he came here in '86, and he worked 3 jobs at the time: airport, McDonald's, and Wendy's, and you know, just to make a living. He used to live with his cousins in '86. You know, they had their fun times, whatnot, and then yeah, they got their, you know, clubs and whatever, DC clubs hitting up, and um, yeah, which is still pretty lit, by the way, because I play at them now, right? Like I play those clubs with my total, so it's fun. But
Oh, damn.
yeah, and then my mom she did her master's, and she finished in '90. She finished in '90 or '91. My brother was born in '91, so she was doing her master's and she was doing singing competitions while my brother was in her stomach. So it was pretty cool. That and then he became a musician. I'm also a musician, so just runs in the family. But anyways, yeah, they come from an educated place, an educated family. I'm really blessed with a, you know, healthy family. We don't care about like just whatever makes you happy. That's me.
Yeah.
We don't talk
That's sick.
about others, or like we don't care about like what other people have to say and blah blah blah, right? Like how you represent yourself is that's what speaks for itself. People will always talk and whatever, right?
Facts. Do you ever have like an internal battle with yourself? Because obviously it seems like you obviously have a lot of pride being Punjabi, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like we're from Punjab and all that, but then you are enlisted with like the US Army. do you have like internal battle? Is there conflict in that sense? Like, or
In the
like
army?
where does your loyalty lie? Like, do you have like, do people ask you this kind of question, or do you ask yourself that kind of stuff?
Wait, do
Loyalty
you
lie within like what do you mean?
do you mean
What?
like India versus US type
Yeah,
shit?
like India versus US, like, or like Punjab versus like US, like.
Punjab would never be against US, but India, yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I was born and raised here, man. So like, but Punjab is Punjab, right? That's home. But India, like, no hate towards India, but I like whenever people say like, "Oh, are you Indian?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Punjabi."
Yeah, yeah.
I don't associate with India at all, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's most of us. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, people, I actually get that question asked a lot, like on my army videos. I'll get a lot of like people from India, and they're like, what do they say in Hindi? Like, so they're like, bhai, basically, they're like,
Yeah.
bhai,
Bye.
Indian Army क्यों नहीं join किया? I'm like, bro, I was born and raised here. Like, what do you mean, my guy? Yeah, I get that question asked a lot, and they're like, what if India goes to war with America? I'll be like, yo, I don't know, man.
It'll
Like,
still be at 95 South.
yeah, I was like, pass out, man. I'm gonna give him a party and
Yeah.
I'll be doing samba, bro.
So when you joined the army, right? So obviously, you know, you have a pug, and like, so people that don't know what a pug is, it's a turban. Was there like an adjustment to that, or like what were the rules in terms of the army for having that stuff? I know Canada's army has changed a lot of rules, but I don't know about American army.
So back in the day, the only way you could keep a pug in the army was if you were basically in the medical field, if you were a lawyer, and if you were an engineer. I think those are the three things. But you would direct commission into an officer, so you'd be in a leadership role right away, right? But that was if your civilian side was you already lawyer, doctor, and engineer. And people went through a lot of struggles to allow pugs in the enlisted side. So I'm one of the first like 50 Sardars in U.S. Army history.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so they allowed in 2017, and you know there were a lot of
Oh,
problems.
wow.
There were a lot of problems, and people actually had to cut their hair and then later on grow their hair. So yeah, we have right now like the head of all the six right now in the army. He's not like the head, but like he's basically like he's like your guide. He's actually a major now. He's Major Simritpal Singh. He's up in Maryland, so it's pretty cool. It's like DMV family. Um, for those who don't know, DMV is just DC, Maryland, Virginia. But yeah. So now they allowed
Damn,
it.
so you guys have like your own little group, like all the like Punjabis within the army have their own like.
Yeah. We actually have a. Let me show you.
Oh
We
shit,
have,
that's
WhatsApp?
dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
we
gotta
have
pull
our
up
own
Exhibit B,
a,
Exhibit B.
a little WhatsApp group? No.
yeah, exactly. We have our own WhatsApp group. It's called Six Service Members.
Oh, that's dope.
Yo, that's actually sick.
That's
Yeah, you
fire.
call it Six Service Members. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Damn,
So
that's dope.
that's how you know you have any questions about so there's a lot of opportunities for people who aren't like who are a different background or whatever. So like you can actually make money for knowing different languages by being like you can help by being a linguist, not like full time, but like you can do that on the side and get paid
Mhm.
monthly for that too. So there's a lot of benefits in the army, man.
So what about, maybe you might have some insight on this? What about like hijabs and stuff too for like people that are Muslim and stuff? Is there rules against that, or?
No, they allowed that. I don't know if they allowed that before bugs, but they've allowed that for
Oh,
some
that's
time
dope.
now.
Okay.
Yeah, so people and daddies as well. So now people, if so,
Oh yeah, I forgot you have to be clean shaven. There was a time you had to be
yeah.
clean shaven. Yeah.
No, you still have to be. You still have to
Oh,
be. You have to at basic training, basic combat training. But at basic combat training, you will literally be bald. They'll shave your head the first day you're there. They'll literally get you, or the second day, they'll take you to a barber and they'll just go zoom, zoom, like that. And like even if you have like a patch or whatever, they don't care. They're just right because there's so many people. Well, it's 180 people in one company, and then there's like probably like 2 battalions, which is like 10 companies
Damn.
coming in at once. So that's like 180 times 10 in one day, right? So like they just gotta be quick with it. But yeah, so you have to be clean shaven and you have to be bald at basic combat training.
and you
But
had to do that too?
so no, not me. Because now in 2017 they've allowed
Oh,
pag
okay.
and dari. So you have to have a religious accommodation.
Does
So
anybody like side eye you and stuff like that? Like your brothers within the army, like because like you're not going through that? Like, do they like
no,
as
not at all.
that's dope. Okay.
Dude, it's crazy, man. Like like so I grew up in like it was really white growing up, but now there's a lot more Punjabis and like
Mm-hmm.
Indians and brown people coming through. But there was only like 5 or 6 Punjabis where I used to live, like within Leesburg. But now there's hella. But so I was like being a minority. And going to the army, I knew I was gonna be a minority, right?
Yeah.
And then but it's all about the way you carry yourself, right? And people are curious, and so you welcome that curiousness, right? Like, so people, when I was tying my fog, and because there's 40 of us within one bay. There's 4 bays: bay 1, bay 2, bay 3, bay 4. And there's 40 guys sleeping in each, right, or however many. And so in the morning you all get ready together because lights on is at like 0400, so 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes earlier than that. But then we all go to the bathroom and get ready, whatever. And people just brushing their teeth and like shaving, whatever. And I'm out here like at one sink, tying my fog, like, like real quick. We only have like 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I had to get up earlier, like 15 minutes earlier, right? Everybody else. But yeah, so people are like looking first couple of weeks or first couple of days, and they're asking me, like, what is this? What is that? What is this? I'm like, oh, all right, like, cool. Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. So, like I said, the first argument, it's all about how you carry yourself, right? And so you welcome that curiousness.
Okay, we'd like to take a quick break for the sponsor of this episode. This episode is brought to you by Single to Shaadi. Single to Shaadi is a community of marriage-minded singles looking for an alternative to the app scene when it comes to finding a true life partner. They cater specifically to South Asians living and working in the United States or Canada, and their approachable price point and relatability to their clients is what makes Single to Shaadi different. They are not your parents' matchmaker. Use code BROWNBOY15 to get 15% off the intro package today. Alright, that's all. Now back to the episode. Yo, being in the army don't seem too bad, yo. I low-key had the thoughts of,
Honestly, I was thinking that too.
I low-key used the thoughts of like joining the army, yo. Like you can post stuff at your house and stuff and still live with like near your family and stuff. And then like imagine I just went in like as a medical professional. I get all my loans paid off. Like I'm chilling.
Exactly.
I always thought like, yo, you had to like go in and like, yo, you gotta be on the front lines, or you gotta serve. Like, I don't mind going through training and stuff, yo. That's gonna make me a stronger person, like mentally and like physically. And then like you reap the benefits that like the government got your back, and then you still do what you want to do. Like you're still doing IT. That's what you were trained in doing. Like it's sick.
Yeah, but there's a lot of so as great as the benefits are, that's how shitty it also is.
Yeah, give us the other side, bro. Like you've been hyping this shit up like all this first half. Like let's see what can be improved from your perspective.
Yeah, man. Dude, army is it's just you have to be as positive as you can possibly be, man. Like army it's a very, very negative atmosphere.
That's like one thing I feel like I personally myself cannot deal with. Like how you were saying, like you're like commanders and stuff, like in your face, spin on. I'm so bad with like following rules and like anybody telling me what to do. Like even like my seniors in like my residency program, right? Like I give them so much attitude, and I will not like I'll give them side eyes, and I'm just such a dick sometimes. Like, and I can't tolerate that shit. Because I just want everybody to be like a reasonable person. And I'm like, yo, they're not being reasonable. Like, why are they all in my face? Like,
Dude, knowing me, I would just laugh. Like, I would not be able to take these people seriously.
All right, both of y'all are already. What about you? Both of y'all are already.
Bro, I'd follow the order because I know if I don't follow the order, these motherfuckers are not gonna let me sleep. They're gonna put me through some torture. They're gonna like do some shit where they're gonna make my life hell. And I know I signed up for this shit, so like there's no backing out. So like I'd rather just follow the order.
See, that's the way to go. Y'all are gonna get a smoke. You're just being smart.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I would just like pack up, dude.
I would definitely get a smoke, yo.
Yeah, dude. Trust me, man. It's that stuff. Like at a time, like you're like, and like towards the end, they'll start like becoming a little. They'll loosen up a bit, and they'll start becoming like kind of not your friend, but someone that you can talk to a little bit more. But in the beginning, man, like, bro, we had some. Actually, let me show you some pictures of
Exhibit C. First the TikTok, then 6 service members, now Exhibit C.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to show you what these drill sergeants look like, man. They're someone you don't want to mess with. Like, I don't know if you've seen those YouTube videos of like how it is. But it's
Have you ever watched Malcolm in the Middle?
I didn't. But like maybe a couple episodes.
I just think of like Francis in the army or like Navy school, like whenever like his like commander is such a hard ass because he has like a hook for a hand.
Yeah, the hook guy.
Yeah, and that's just like when I think of army, where they're just like, if you're just out of line even 1 centimeter, they're on you.
Yep. That's basically how it is. It's yeah, I couldn't find the pictures, but these drill sergeants, because they've had like a lot of these drill sergeants have combat experience and they've seen stuff, right? So the reason they're so onto you is because like one mess up can literally be the cost of someone of your every battle buddy's life. Like
Mm,
like as small as it sounds, it's huge, right? So like you'll see a lot of these drill sergeants, and they'll have these black bracelets. That's for every person that they've lost. Like they're every person that they've lost, their names engraved on that one black bracelet, and
oh shit.
they've lost their best friends. Like bro, these people have lost a lot of people that they love, man, and right next to them, it becomes a brotherhood and
Yeah.
a family, right? Even your sister's like dying right next to you in your arms. Sometimes you're dragging them. If they get shot out in the open, you got to drag them, right? You can't leave them.
How is like the mental health side of things like kind of taught in training, or do they even like put any limelight on that? Like, how do you internalize that? Like, you're not just surviving for yourself, you're surviving for your like squad essentially. Like, like do they even like talk about that? Like how to like kind of cope with that type of stuff?
Yeah, so you're never so the army has been doing this for a long time. Like they've probably dealt with tens of millions of people. So they have it down to a science. Everything that you do in the army is already planned. Like in terms of training. So all of our training is in under something called TRADOC. It's a training for the army, right? Like every single school, Ranger school, Airborne school, basic training, OCS, everything that so everything's down to a science, and basically they have everything instilled. So they have a battle buddy system. So like you said, like how do they put it on you, that pressure that everything that you're doing, you're doing it not just for yourself but everyone around you. So getting smoked, right? That's bare minimum. Someone messes up, it messes everyone up, right?
Hmm.
So then what we do is we make sure that that person doesn't mess up and they're better for themselves. So you start helping them, right? If they're like slacking behind, they're like, oh shoot, like yo, I need help right quick. Like I only have 2 arms and I have to pick up like 4 things, right? Uh like things like that. You put someone, someone puts something on their back or whatever, right? Like things like that. That's otherwise you'll get smoked if you don't make your time hacks, if you don't get somewhere on time. Right, that's one thing. Another thing is battle buddy system. Everywhere you go in the army, you will never be alone, ever. Uh, even if we're out in the FTX or doing FTX, a field training exercise, we're out in the middle of the forest, and you can't ever be alone. So basically, if you have to
Like
go to the
even when you're doing
bathroom,
number two?
yeah, so you have to have someone on patrol with you.
Okay.
No
Um,
way.
yeah, like obviously they'll look the other way, but but also, so in Tradoc, basically we have porta potties, and they're the nastiest thing. Like, bro, like I've never come across anything nastier in my life. The army, like when you go to basic training, you will come across things you never would have imagined. Like the most nastiest things, bro. Like this is TMI, but like, bro, these porta potties be growing like
Yeah, stop.
insects and
Yeah, stop.
maggots.
I can't handle this shit. Do you actually use toilet paper or do you use like leaves when you're out in the wild?
No, so they make sure we have baby wipes and things like that. But bro, that doesn't help at all. Like it helps in terms of like you, but it doesn't help the nastiness that you're in. Like
Yeah.
these porta potties are like, so I went to this car meet for the first time. One of my buddies from the army, he took me. I went to use their porta potty, and I was like, damn, bro, I'm like in a luxurious porta potty. It was nasty, but
Is
like
this Drake's house?
the Drake's house. Basically, bro, that's what it felt like, man. Because like the army, because like there's like thousands, hundreds and thousands of people who've used this porta potty before me. You know what I'm saying? And people are nasty, bro. Like, like we're Punjabi, right? So like, our parents teach us to be, tidy and nice and
Yeah.
whatever, like, clean. Bro, Gore man, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁਛ ਹੋਰ ਕੰਮ ਆ. Like they're different, bro.
Yo, facts, yo, they are different breed. No cap.
They're Angredia, right? They're like just different, man. They're different people, bro. But
That builds like a certain grit though, yo. Like for you, like I feel like yo, it's like you can like withstand so much, especially like mentally going through that and shit. Like I feel like once you're like in it, like you get dirty, you just get dirty, like you get used to it, like you just shrug it off.
for
But like
sure.
you have to like first dive in and actually like expose yourself.
Yeah,
Did you
for
dry
sure.
heave in the beginning?
Even in the beginning for what?
Did you dry heave in the beginning when you saw all that nastiness, or you just suck it up?
Bro, at that time, like you're just so drained, you're so tired, like nothing phases you. Like you're just so numb. Like the entire 70 days, you're so numb.
That's interesting. So I guess another question I have, so since you went through the training, you probably saw like couple of people that come in and like their whole. I'm sure like people fight in the beginning, but eventually everyone does conform. Like they have to conform to like be the uniformity thing that you were talking about. Like how quickly does that change happen? Like where the mental shift, like maybe like the first week people resist the change, like screaming in the face. Some people might break, but like what is like the timeline of like people just like kind of you just see their behavior change, and how did your behavior change from like the beginning to the end of the training?
Uh, uh, Mine, I was pretty positive up until like the last, say the last 3 weeks. Just because everyone started to become like loosening up a bit. So, like I was saying, everything is written. Like everything in life is written. But I'm talking about in the army, like everything is down to a science. So they actually have like books. So these drill sergeants, they go through drill sergeant school, and they're taught what to expect this week, on this day, this week, at this time. Like because everything's down to a science. They've been through this cycle a million, billion, gajillion times, right? They have everything down. So basically the first week you get there, you don't know anybody, right? So first week you get there, first day you get there, you go to something called reception. Reception is like 3 days, 4 days, sometimes a week. Sometimes for some people, if they have it bad, it's 2 weeks. I had it for 3 days, 4 days. You're stuck there basically until all your paperwork, everything's processed through, you get all your shots. Because when you go into the army, like the first thing they do is they do all your medical stuff. So you're getting like shots, like you literally go down a line. You don't say anything. You're holding up a sign that say all the shots that you need on it. Can't talk, whatever. Going down the line, right? There's one auntie here, and then there's one auntie here, and one auntie here, one auntie here, right? You're just going down the line, and with the sign, you're just holding it. It's go, like you get shot, right? It's like, oh, another shot, and like you just keep going.
Bro, I
Some
fucking hate needles.
Yeah, bro, me too, bro. It's like, yeah, me too. I got 4 shots. Some people had to, because I already had like some vaccines prior in the prior years.
Do you have to keep your eyes open, or can you just like go close your eyes?
Yeah, whatever. Like, but like you have to have you just have to like just don't think about it, right?
Okay.
It sucks, but like you just have to go through it. Some people had to get 8 shots, literally just in that line. So they're getting shot, and I just had to get 4, luckily. But that's like kind of day 1, day 2 ish. Then you get you do your dental like you go and get your X-ray or whatever. I had my wisdom teeth were coming out during basic training, so I had the most painful nights. Because for some reason at nighttime your wisdom teeth hurt like crazy. At daytime, during the day you're like fine, but there were some times like where so I was top bunk. I had to get down like in the middle of the night, and like you're not really allowed to like move. Like you're not allowed to go to the bathroom really, because like drill sergeants can come in at any time, and if they come in at any time, there's someone missing, you all get messed up for it, even if you go to the bathroom. So like you have to be really like smart about it, right?
God damn.
What does that mean? Like piss in the corner?
No, like you have to go real quick, make no noise, come back, hop in your bed, right? But there were some times like my wisdom teeth were like killing me. I had all 4 coming out, and like bro, there were some times where like I had to go and sit and like I was just rocking back and forth in pain, like on the ground somewhere, just in the middle of the night, pitch black, just because I was in so much pain. My last FTX field training exercise, we were out there for 4 days, and on one of the days, and I was a platoon leader for that FTX, so like I was leading our platoon, which is 40 people. I was the leader of everybody. I couldn't speak, man. Like I was in so much pain. But that's the thing, is it's a family, right? So like if they see that you're in pain or something's happening, they'll be like, all right, let's do everything we can to help. So we go by our last names, right? So in English they would say like Dhindsa. Obviously in Punjabi it's Dhindsa, right? But they were like, yo, let's do everything we can to help Dhindsa out, right? Like he's going through a lot of pain and like whatever, right? Because they know like a lot of them, they've had their wisdom teeth pain or whatever, blah blah. So they just help you, right? It's a family. So I don't know where I was going with this, but yeah, dude.
Yeah, is everything designed to like kind of break you and rebuild
Yes,
you?
exactly. That's beautifully put. So that's exactly the words of the army. So they will break you and then build you back up. So everything's put in.
That's like a lot of systems in the US, and I do not fuck with that system. Like it works. Like I get it, it works. But
Yeah.
like there's gotta be a better way. Because that's how the medical field is too.
Yeah.
Like when you start off, like they'll fucking like slave labor you, and like
Right.
they just break you, and like it does make you like whatever efficient and like better. But I'm like, yo, there's gotta be a better way. Like, this is just not it.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
I
but
still don't agree with it.
see, I hate going through it, but I definitely agree with it just because like when you're actually when like you're a doctor, so you know, if someone's going through like a life-threatening emergency, you wouldn't know what to do if you have not felt stress before.
Yeah,
You know?
you need the flight and flight. Yeah, I agree with
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
So that's the reason. Like they have everything down to a T, like everything down to a science. Like same thing in the army. They'll stress the crap out of you. So this OCS thing that I just went through, it was basic training, but on steroids. We only got like 2 hours of sleep a night, and then for this one it was terrible because like I had to sleep with my plug. So I had to before going to sleep, I had to retie my plug, just because like you don't have time in the morning. You have to get up. I had to get up 15 minutes earlier, anyways, just because like my body works different. So like मेरा जेड़ा 2 number या like it's different. थोड़ा time लगता.
Yo, same here, bro.
Yeah, time लगता थोड़ा. So like I had to get up and early and do my business and then get ready for the day, right? Put boots on and whatever. But so in the morning, this last time I had to get up and then do a 9 mile ruck. And I had just come, there was like a stomach flu or stomach infection going around. I don't know if y'all caught it or someone, like it was like last month.
Yeah,
Everyone was
no.
catching it. Yeah, bro, like you got like 30 like, just, it was terrible, man. It was bad. Real bad. Sorry, man. TMI. Army
It's all
stuff.
good.
But I had,
You're the one that has to live through it, not me, bro.
yeah, do that. So 2 days prior to OCS, like I had that stomach thing, and like I lost all my I lost so much energy because like in that process, like you're losing a lot of electrolytes and like just a lot, right? A lot of energy, and you need a lot of electrolytes to replenish. But in 2 days, you can't replenish like in 2 days as much as you lost, right?
Army don't got IV on deck?
Nah, they don't. But this was at home, right? This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, I see.
This was before going to training. So training is like 3 hours away from home. So like you're 10 times more dehydrated. But anyways, you get there at 6:30, you go through that, right? Like they make you run uphill, sprint uphill with all that weight. Then you do your in processing, and then you go to your barracks, and then you have to set up everything, right? Like so everything in the army is dress right dress. Dress right dress means everything is in uniform, right? Like everything has to look the exact same. The soldier on your left, soldier on your right, soldier behind you, in front of you, everything has to look the exact same. Like not a single thing can be off, and that's hard with multiple people.
Now I have a question. So like now that you tie a pug, who does like your poonie? Is it like a white boy that holds your pug? Like
You
Nah,
can
I
do
do
it
it-
yourself. You like tie it against a pole and like you can
A
just
door, yeah.
is that how you do it?
Yep. I've been doing that since 11. I started time, so I didn't actually always grow my hair. I used to cut my hair.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I used to cut my hair from like when I was 3 years old to uh 6th grade, I think, 5th grade or 6th grade. I started keeping my hair in 6th grade. Um, and that was a big part of that. A big reason is because of my older brother. He was a big influence. He started growing his hair as well, so it was a blessing to. And then later on, as I got older, I learned the importance of it, like scientifically and also like spiritually and mentally and whatever. So when I started tying my plug in 11th grade, I started off with. I learned the best way, which is not to rely on anybody. So I started tying it with the door, the puni. So you used to tie the knot at the end of the door, and the end of the puni at the door, and like start doing it. So I just did that throughout basic training as well. Tied it to the bed, and everybody was like, just like
Yeah.
on the barracks, like, oh, what is this guy doing in the beginning, right? But everybody by the end of the first week, everybody knew what it was, like what was going on, and this and that. People saw my hair. So in basic training, I'll be like hella honest with you. I didn't get to wash my hair for the first time till like the 3rd or 4th week.
God damn.
God damn.
Like you're going. You have no time whatsoever. Sunday, there are no Saturday. There is no time off. And
But you water it or no? You don't even water it.
no time, bro. No
Oh
time.
damn.
Yeah, no time. So it kind of sucks. Like it feels nasty, but you just don't have time. And once you get to your like 5th week, it starts to chill out a bit. So basic training is 10 weeks, 70 days. Once you get to your like 5th, 6th week, it starts to slow down a bit. And then finally I asked my drill sergeant, one of them, it's like, yo, drill sergeant, I need some time to wash my hair, like two hours. Like it takes me like 30 minutes to wash it, but then to dry it. So I was like, I just need like 2 hours.
Yo,
Or
by
do we
the
have
end,
2 hours?
no, I was gonna ask, like, by the end of like your basic training, like, we were talking about they're breaking you down and building you up. What did they build you up that you didn't have before in you? Like, is it like patience or like,
Yeah, actually, I guess to be honest, like I still feel like I'll be like actually quite honest with you. So like before I went into the army, man, I used to be super, super, super positive, like 24/7, right? Like all the time. Not like an unhealthy positive, like oh, just ignoring the negative, but no, like seeing the positivity in the negative, right? Like
Mhm. The blind
instead of
optimism?
basically, yeah. So basically, like seeing that there's a reason for everything, right? When you're like life is like a mountain, right? So I made this like this concept when I was like in high school, I think. So for me, like life's a mountain, right? And so if you look at a mountain, you're traveling up a mountain. Can you always go up, right? Like when you're at the top, what's at the top? Can you grow crops at the top? You can't, right? If you actually look at a mountain, you can't, right? Because there's no. It's like the
Not the
air up
proper
there's
environment.
different. It's
Yeah.
not the soil up there is not like there's no soil up there, right? Where do you have to go to replenish? You have to go back down to the valley, right? And that's where all the water flows. That's where your soil is most fertile and whatever, right? So that's where you basically gain all your crops back up. You replenish, and then you store some crops on your journey back up to your next mountain, right? And it's not the same wavelength. Like it's not the same height every time. Some mountains are really high, and then some drops are super low, and then little mountain and then all the way down again and all the way back up. Like, that's how life is. So, but it's a journey, right? Your life. Um, like we're always constantly learning, right? That's why, they say sick, right? We're sick. I'm sick. So it's just learning of life. It's a lifestyle. It's not a religion. You have to do this, you have to do that. But you have to always look at why things are happening, right? Know the reason why you're doing things. Don't do things blindly, right? Otherwise, it just becomes a ritual and like in an unhealthy way. It becomes, it's just doing something just to do it. Trying to find an example of like just blindly doing something, even if you don't know. But basically, it's like, one day someone goes and like before leaving home, they like high five the door or like the top of the door, right? And it's like the person behind it is like, all right, I guess I do that too, right? And then the person behind is like, all right, then just becomes a thing, right?
Mob mentality.
Yeah, but that first person had a reason to do it. It was their own reason, right? And the second, third, fourth person, they did it just because they saw it. So you can't be like you got to know why you did it. What's the purpose of it, right? Can't be the sheep, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't be like. But anyways, so before basic training, like I was super, super, super positive, always, man. Like went through basic training, and like I said, the army is a really, really negative environment. It's changing day by day for sure, for the better. But like I said, in the 7th week, 8th week, man, like mentally, man, I was just so drained, bro, like next level. Because like I said earlier, I was like everybody's psychologist. Before the first one ended, I was saying how my first sergeant, he appointed me to be a SASH representative. So Army just started this new program. I was a third cycle, so 2 cycles before me started it. It's Soldiers Against Sexual Harassment. So the Army has a lot of sexual harassment in it. And after this program was put into place, 70% sexual harassment cases were like basically like done, like after this program. So basically what it is like if something happens, right, within your guys' barracks, like your brothers, each bay has their own SASH representative. So there's 4, right? I was one of them. And I didn't do it by choice. It was really but the other people they signed up for it. And again, it was just the way you represent or carry yourself. Um,
Does harassment come like sexual harassment specifically? Is it like male on male, or is it mostly like male
both,
on female?
both. Sometimes you can both,
Interesting.
man. The things happen, bro. Because like jokes aside, like you're away from
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things for 70 days, right? You're away. You don't have your phone for 70 days. It's a tough life, and like you're away from your loved ones, and like you're like in a lot of the time it's teenagers. So
Mm-hmm.
jokes aside, like hormones play a big role when you're away from all that, right? So, Soldiers Against Sexual Harassment program was started to stop these things from happening, basically. And 70% of cases, like I said, were diminished, right? Were gone by the time by the third cycle. Just within 3 cycles, 70% was cut down. It's a really negative environment. It can be, right? But you have to stay positive. That's the thing, right? So I remember the first 2 or 3 weeks, I would go in front of the bay. Like so the way a bay is structured, like if you look at this, right? So
Exhibit E.
basically, okay. So what did you say? Oh no,
Exhibit E.
Exhibit E.
Yeah.
So all of our beds are around this. This is called a kill zone. So basically, you can't walk in this. It's a huge part of your room. Like if you're, it's a one like room, and you have bunk beds all around. So bunk bed, like for 40 people, and then you have your drill sergeant office and a desk here and a drill sergeant office, and then you have your bathrooms here, or it's called a latrine in the army. There's no bathrooms. There's only latrines, right? Even your porta potty, you don't call it porta potty, you call it a latrine. But anyways, there's a huge part of your room, like basically like it probably takes up like 50% of the room, maybe even 60%, is called a kill zone. You can't walk in it. Or like step foot in it, otherwise you will get smoked, right? So with this what was I talking about? I was talking about Sash, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sexual harassment.
Yeah. I forgot what I was talking about with the kill
Yeah, I
zone.
guess yeah,
Oh,
my
that's what it was.
yeah.
So that's what it was. So like in the beginning of the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, like I would go in the beginning, like in front of the kill zone, and like basically motivate all 40 of us, like every day, just by choice, right? And it became like me doing that. It's just because like I love motivating others a lot, and that's when my first sergeant saw that in me. Because like the first time that we got there, we had to do like a mini fitness test, and I was killing it. Just because I had prepared a lot prior to going. Yeah, like I'll tell you. So out of 100, so 180 people started, and then it cut down to 160 by the end of it. 70 people. So a lot of people make it.
Mm.
I was the seventh fittest out of 180 people or 160 people. In the last fitness test. So 7 out of 160 is pretty good. So I was killing it like fitness wise. Still am, but it's just a mental thing. It's just
Yeah.
mental thing that like that's what gets me. So it's definitely made me see, to get back to your question, it's definitely made me see a different side of myself. Because like when you're
It
young,
probably just makes you like more practical, I feel
Yeah, I was
like,
about to
right?
say he's positive, negative, you meet in the middle, and it's just pragmatic.
yeah, for sure. But I think I've been more like down lately, and that's like it's part of the journey, like I said, right? Like you have to go down. Like the times that you're low are the only times that you grow, really. That rhymed,
Yeah,
ironically.
it did right.
But it's so true though, because like if it's not for these times, you won't know. You won't. It's like a rubber band. Like the more you stretch, right, the more flexible you become mentally, right, physically, emotionally. So when you're at these times, like it's like you're really pushing your limits, right? And
Yeah.
then when you're just time of just relaxing, it's like, all right, you have all the space to move, right?
Dude,
Emotionally,
it's like 50 Cent on Many Men. Sunny days wouldn't feel so special if it wasn't for rain.
Hey, true that, man.
Yeah.
For real, dude. Without rain, there's no sunshine.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So like,
This is beautiful, man. All right,
Word.
should we do songs of the week? You gave us like a huge glimpse of like army that I had never. You're like the first like Punjabi that's an American army that like I think I've ever spoken to. Since
oh
there's
wow.
only 50 of us, 50 of you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
man. Compared to the other ones, like who are like I was saying, people breathe, live, sleep, eat the army. Like I'm a softie compared to them, and those people are like freaking. They're intense. They're like next level, and like I always look up to them, man. But
Yeah.
I'm just blessed to be in the army and like still be able to do like some crazy ass shit that I've been able to do. So it's cool, man.
Yeah,
But song of
that's
the week.
sick, yo. We appreciate you coming on
Oh
and
yeah,
shit
man. I
and giving
appreciate
us
y'all, bro.
glimpse.
Y'all like this is such an honor to be here and talk to y'all.
Dude,
Oh,
that was just dope understanding how the army works. I feel like we just have like a kind of jaded view on how the army is, but you kind of like gave a step by step and everything and broke it down. That was dope.
I'm blessed, man. Yeah, for sure, man. Everyone's experience is different, so this is mine. So I'm super honored to be able to share that with y'all.
Hell of an experience,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah, man. So my song of the week. So I've been so I'm a world percussionist and a world dancer. So I do African dance, Latin dance, and Bhangra obviously and hip hop. And then same thing with drumming, African, Latin, all over India. And
Yeah, dope.
yeah, so I've been into reggaeton a lot lately. And
Same.
like so he's the thing.
So is KV, bro.
Okay. So like I went to I don't know if you know Raul Alejandro.
Yeah.
I went to
Fire.
I went to his concert in March, and like, but I had been listening to reggaeton like on a daily before that, like a month. I've been in it for the past 3 months more than anything, but I'm on top 3% listener on Spotify for Baila Reggaeton Radio. Like it gives you a little notification. I'm like, all right, bet. So my favorite song right now is Vampiros by Raul Alejandro at the moment. And then
Damn,
but
but you got like you like got the tongue roll.
Yeah,
And
he got the
everything.
like he got the on him.
yeah, I'm actually I speak like 60-70% fluent Spanish.
Oh damn.
I learned that in school, and also like with my friends.
La cabeza me duele la cabeza.
You
That's
had
the
what?
only, that's the only thing I know. It's like 8th grade Spanish is like la cabeza me duele la cabeza, like my
Oh,
head
your head's
hurts.
hurting.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
All right, so I'll go next. Just going off the Spanish stuff because I have a Spanish song too.
Yeah.
So we went to our friend's bachelor party in Mexico City. So
Heck yeah.
I don't know if you know this artist named Peso Pluma. He's been popping up lately.
I'm pretty sure I know.
But all of his songs, his one song was playing all over Mexico City, and I've been listening to it for probably the past month and a half too.
What's it called?
It's called La Bebe. It's a remix with Young Lucas and Peso Pluma.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, but he does like the more modern stuff too, but he has this one song that's also like classical, like Mexican, like kind of like mariachi song. That I'll send you that too. That's pretty
Heck
dope.
yeah. Yeah, I've been listening to cumbia as well. I don't know if you know cumbia, but I've been listening to a lot too.
Yeah.
All right, Riku, you up.
My song of the week is Lil Tecca.
Loteca? You said Loteca?
Yeah, Lil Tecca.
Lil Tecca.
Tecca. A little like short guy, like braids, yo. He's like
I don't
18. He's a rapper.
Yeah,
okay.
why are we downgrading?
Yo, chill. The song's called Need Me.
Need Me.
It's catchy as fuck.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Lastly, I'll go. I don't know why. Yesterday at the gym, I just put on Donda by Kanye, and I just been listening to Praise God. So mine's gonna be Praise God.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
Well, this has been another episode of Brown Boy Chronicles. Thank you, Saminder, aka TurbanMagic, for coming on, sharing your journey, sharing your experiences, and giving us a glimpse of army life and every aspect of your life, man. So appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for taking time to listen to my story, which is nothing. My story is nothing.
Don't sell yourself short, man. Your story's something.
Bless, man. Thank you, bro. One love, much love always.
Thank you for watching the Brown Boy Chronicles. We appreciate all the support you guys give us. All of our episodes can be found on every streaming platform. If you guys want to follow us on any social media, it can be found in the episode description. Also, if you guys have any business inquiries, please feel free to email us at brownboychronicles1@gmail.com. Thank you.